What is up, everybody? Ray and Brennan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you the hottest of hot news, the notes, the waiver wires for Week 7. Just wanted to get a couple things out the way, though. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. What do you say
Let's
about
do it.
that?
Yeah. Well, San Francisco goes in as a 7-point favorite into Minnesota, and Brock Purdy looked like Desmond Ridder this game. It was 17-22. They had a chance to win this game, but Brock Purdy threw a really bad interception at the end. Complete letdown on San Francisco's side. I mean, Brock Purdy, you were hoping for a good game. Didn't happen, only 12 points. But CMC, for all those that were worried about him, he looked phenomenal, played every snap in the offense, had 2 touchdowns. But I will say the Brandon Ayuk I would say it was a letdown game for him. He looked good in the first half and then nothing in the second half.
I honestly think that was more of a Purdy problem than it was a Brandon Ayuk problem.
Okay.
During the second half, their offense kind of fell to shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the best way to put it. I don't think Purdy got settled in at all, and I'm not sure what that was. And this is now 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Looking not like the league MVP.
No, definitely
and not. I just wanted to ask you, what are you thinking of Brock Purdy right now? What do you think of the San Francisco 49ers offense as a whole right now? Because Minnesota's defense isn't good.
No, it was really weird. They were stopping the run too. They were not letting CMC get any kind of yardage on the ground. I will say this, like, it's 2 bad games. I think if he has another, I think he'll be on watch. I think he's done well so far. You can't just like bench him right away. I know Sam Darnold's there, and he got all the hype in the offseason, but I think he's given another game or two. If things start to fall off the wagon, I think that's when they move over to Sam Darnold.
I'm not sure if they even do it. I don't think they would.
Yeah, I'm just saying he would have to have like 2 really bad games upcoming. Like he would have to like really fall off to be like they could get the consideration of that.
Those are 2 really bad picks, though.
Those were picks.
2 really bad interceptions at the end of this game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. On the positive side of the ball, let's San Francisco not looking like they're all that in the bag of chips right now.
Yeah.
I think that the ship rights itself eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe they need Debo out there.
Maybe, and also they missed their left tackle too, Trent Williams.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Trent Williams being out was a big deal, and apparently that might be the truth. Like he really is that big of a deal.
That difference maker. But let's give flowers to Kirk Cousins, dude. He had a game, man, and without Justin Jefferson.
I think that what you saw was Jordan Addison taking over.
True. Jordan Addison had himself a game too. He had that one ball where it got intercepted because it got ripped out of his hands, and then he did it right back to Jadarius Ward too. So that was pretty nasty. But yeah, Jordan Addison had 7 receptions, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns in the day. I mean, looked like you can just call him Justin Jefferson right now.
I mean, that one catch he had, you're talking about it. What one catch he just ripped that ball right out of his hands. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was just impressive. Other wide receivers that stepped up. I mean, Brandon Powell. I mean, he had 4 receptions, 64 yards, and the crazy. KJ Osborne had 5 receptions, 47 yards. So if you started them, they didn't really hurt you. But hey, TJ Hawkinson, man, I looked like Mark Andrews was going to beat you in that tight end points, but he had himself a game. Looks like he had 11 receptions for 86 yards today.
Needed a touchdown. If I would have got a touchdown, then the Mark Andrews split would have been real. Like it would have been right there.
Yeah.
But and I think that that's what I was expecting last week. That's what I'm expecting going forward until Justin Jefferson's back is 11 to 15 targets is what I'm expecting.
Okay.
I mean, because the offense is Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and then a slew of running back that I don't care about.
Let me ask you this. So obviously the Vikings won. So now they're on back-to-back wins. Justin Jefferson's probably going to come back regardless of the IR stint of what people thought. Do you think at the end of the season, if they finish just like 7-10, do you think they re-sign Kirk Cousins?
No.
They let him walk?
Yep.
Okay. I'm on the opposite side. I think they kind of are in a tough spot, and they have to pay him what he wants.
Nope, I don't think they do. I think that what they do is they try and either move up in the draft or they bite the bullet and just say, hey, look, this is just what's going to be. But every season, it felt like it was closer and closer to like Kirk Cousins not being in the stadium. And I get the sense that like they're at the end of that leash.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the offensive firepower that Kirk Cousins has been given right now. Like, and I know that he doesn't have Justin Jefferson right now. I get it. But like, even when he did, was Minnesota the team to beat? No,
weren't. It's just because they have a really bad defense. But I think if they put themselves in a really tough bind in that situation. I'm very curious to see what happens at the end of the year.
Just go sign J-Bo. J-Bo's the answer to everything. He's the answer.
All right. Let's move on to the waiver wire portion of this show here. Let's talk about some running backs here, Ray. So let's talk about the first one. Obviously, everyone was curious of what the Rams backfield would look like. Everyone thought, well, Zach Evans, he was, the last one on the running back depth chart. And they went and signed two guys off the streets of Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman. And it looks like Darrell Henderson's going to be the lead back of the two.
Yeah. And if you went out and we told you not to spend a lot of money on Zach Evans.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't.
I really hope you didn't.
Yeah, because I made him my start of the week, and I was like, oh, wait. Like, the day after, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I pull that one back.
Yeah, reel that one back in.
It's okay, though. It's okay. We live to fight another day. It's funny because I took him out of our DraftKings lineup in our thing. I put in Elijah Mitchell. He didn't do anything either. I was like, oh, well, the only thing I can do left is to make a lateral move in cap space. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily think I want to spend a lot on Darrell Henderson. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's just going to be like a couple more games of a rental until the running back comes back. I'm trying to blank on his name. My apologies. But I'd only spend probably about 10 to 15 fab. He is truly a rental at this point. So
10 sounds rich.
Yeah, I just think 10 gets it done.
Yeah, like 10 gets it done. 15 definitely gets it done. There's no way.
Yeah, and then. Sorry about that. The next thing we have here is Deonta Foreman. He had himself a game this last week. He had 31 points in fantasy, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Because Roschon Johnson, for whatever reason, this was a really bad concussion for him. And I just think that Deonta Foreman has done enough now to kind of secure that lead back, even if Roschon does come back in the picture. I think Deonta Foreman gets first crack. Yeah,
and this is another thing that I would kind of point out towards Deonta Foreman. I mean, he looked good.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good in the work he got. I think he's the RB1 this week. I don't know. He's got to be.
He is.
It's got to be. Fields is going to be out one more week. He's already doubtful.
Yes, he's doubtful right now.
He's going to be out next one more week.
He is doubtful, yes.
They're going to rily on Deonta Foreman one more time. I would spend a little more if you're in running back destitute right now. Maybe 15.
Okay.
Because even with Fields back, I don't think that Khalil Herbert's looked anywhere near as good as Deonta Foreman did this last week.
Well, no, not with the touchdowns. So
maybe this total comes down with Roschon Johnson coming back, but like 15 sounds. I'm talking myself out of 15. Maybe 12. 12 sounds right. 12%.
Yeah. And next guy I have here, it's Cam Akers. He outrushed Alexander Madison, and he was in the final drives of the game at this one. So I think Cam Akers is starting to. I think we've talked about this, for weeks now, that he's slowly starting to creep as the RB1 there, and I think it's going to happen. I think the Vikings are getting some steam, and they're going to go with the hot hand, and I think it's Cam Akers.
That, because Alexander Madison isn't a good running back, but I mean, like Cam Akers is much better, but he's better. So
yeah, I think he's better.
I would 5 fab.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think anything crazy. And then the last running back, it's Ray's favorite running back. It's Devin Singletary. Look at the Texans are coming off a bye. He was dropped. It's a running back. If you're going to be on a bye week this week, it's something to monitor. I think they'll go to a committee going forward. So I think if you're looking for a deep option, that's my deep play there is Devin Singletary.
Check to see if Chuba Hubbard is owned.
Yeah.
I would go Chuba Hubbard.
It looks like they said they're going to go by committee too. So
I would go Chuba Hubbard in a committee over.
I would too. Absolutely. Because he has more PPR upside.
So. Yeah. On
All
to
right.
receivers.
One name.
I don't
It's
think it's more than one. It's definitely more than one.
oh, it's
We
one
saw
more
it.
than one. The one I think it's a deep flex. Obviously, we're trying to get ahead of the curve here. And Jake Bobo had himself a really good game with DK out. He was wide receiver 17 on the week. He secured all his catches. I think he looked really nice. He was getting a ton of hype in their camp over there. If you're in a really deep league like I am, for some guys who take it really seriously, that's someone I would just, if you have someone droppable, that's someone I would just go and just put free. Don't even spend any fab, but free.
Yep. And the name that I wanted to bring up because he is still 52% owned. And I just want to make sure that we're still talking about it because 52 is close enough to 50%. That means half of everybody listening right now. Josh Downs is on your waiver wire. Go get him, add him right now.
That's so crazy.
He should be the number one waiver wire ad if he's on your waiver wire. I would spend probably, if you need a receiver, 16%, 17%. That's what I would spend.
Yeah. He's pretty much startable now every week too.
And there is no risk of Anthony Richardson coming back and the offense changing. It's not changing. This is it. So if, Gardner Minshew is going to be the quarterback, if he's going to continue to be the quarterback, which I think he's going to be.
He is, yeah.
I don't think he's going to get benched for anybody. I wouldn't even be able to tell you who the backup is for
Isaiah McKenzie.
So Gardner Minshew's not going anywhere.
The backup for Gardner Minshew is it's a guy from Texas, Sam Ellinger.
So Gardner Minshew's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Yes.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. So maybe 20%. I would go rich. 20% at this point in time. What are you spending? What are you saving your fab for? Go out and get Josh Downs.
Yeah, if you have fab left, kudos to you. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I have none left. Thank you. Now it's crazy because Demigod finally got the burn that I thought he was going to get week one. I hate fantasy football sometimes. I swear to God, I hate it. I hate it so much. It didn't matter. He wouldn't have saved me this week.
Relationship for everybody here.
You know what's crazy is that the rest of my leagues just blew up this week. I was going crazy. I was going bananas on everybody.
All right. And then on the tight end, there's two names here. One is pretty major because it's Dalton Kincaid. He had himself a welcoming party because we didn't talk about the notes section, but Dawson Knox is having wrist surgery and there's no timetable for return. And when he got his run, he had 7 receptions, 75 yards, I believe was the stat line in the Patriots game. He's going to be very involved in this offense.
Yeah, because I just what is Gabe Davis? What is he? What is
I don't know.
Why isn't Khalil Shakir more involved? Who was that guy that caught that one ball on the sidelines, looked really good, and got no more plays after that? What was that guy's name?
I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you, but he looked good. Why don't any of these other guys get the ball? Why is it always just Stephon Diggs?
Hey, man, it's just Stephon Diggs. And without Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen kind of looks like Nathan Peterman out there.
I'm starting to think that Stephon Diggs has some sort of dirt on Josh Allen. Like we're gonna come out one of these days.
Targets a game.
He's got non-paid taxes or something like that on Josh Allen. He's got something.
He's gonna send him to the IRS,
right? Like he's got to have something big.
Or he's just the best receiver open at all times for Buffalo, or that.
One of the two. But I like the two.
I like conspiracy theory too. It's very fun. The only other tight end I would monitor picking up, it's Taysom Hill. He's gotten some work in these back-to-back weeks. Ray's favorite player too. He's involved in the offense, man. It is what it is. You got to find something. It's a tight end wasteland. I think you can take a shot there.
Other news. Chris Olave got arrested tonight.
Yes, he did.
So
didn't resist arrest. So
that's good.
It's good. Always good news. I think he's fine. I don't think he's suspended this year until they do the court and they do all this stuff. Same with Alvin Kamara, like last year, until they finally go to court and stuff like that. I don't think he'll be suspended this year.
I'd think, now this is just something I would assume, that the NFL would probably crack down on this speeding thing pretty hard. I would assume that even though he wasn't, resisting, the track record against receivers speeding in the NFL is not great. So maybe they crack down kind of hard. That's what I'm assuming.
I don't think so. Even if he gets suspended, I think it's one game.
That would be crazy. I would be blown away if it was just one game. Blown away. It would make nothing would make sense anymore. But like, what does? People are getting suspended for a year for gambling $10 or something like that. But then, like, other people are getting suspended for 4 games for beating a man half to death. Who knows? It's the Wild West in the NFL anymore right now.
You got to put seats in the stands. All right. Other news. The only quarterback I have here. He's practicing. He's running reps with the first team. It's Kyler Murray. They do expect him to come back by week 10, I think is what the projection is. So if you have some quarterbacks on bye, just get ahead of it. Drop your guy now, and hopefully you can start. I think Kyler Murray would be the best option if you're going to try to pick up somebody.
Yeah, if you're yeah, I could see that. This whole like Arizona offense has just really fallen off the last few weeks, and I think it has a big part to do with James Conner not being there, because James Conner is the cog that makes that go.
He is. I agree.
He makes that offense a lot better, and I would think that that's going to be equivalent to, like, it's going to be Josh Dobbs and Kyler Murray. It's going to look about the same without James Conner, because I don't think Kyler Murray's that good. Like, he's not like, oh man, he's going to put the world on fire. No, he's not going to do that. Without a running back, he's not looked good in his career. So,
all right, fair enough. I just think that if you're going to try to pivot to something, I think Kyler Murray's, because before, if he was healthy, I think he'd be a fringe top 10, top 12 fantasy quarterback.
Yes, so. I would assume that he will not run as much.
Yes, possibly. Right, I think they'll keep him on a short leash at that. So,
yeah.
All right, for defenses this week, I have 3 here. I think, Ray, you can pick your one if you like the most. But the Chargers play the Bears on Sunday night. The Texans play the Panthers, and the Seahawks play the Cleveland Browns. Out of those 3, who do you like the most?
I like the Seahawks right now. Okay. PJ Walker looks like a bag of hot ass, and there's no timetable on Deshaun Watson. I mean, I don't know what the hell he's
even if Deshaun Watson plays, I'm not afraid. He does not look good. So.
I like it a little more, honestly. Like, it's going to give you more opportunities, and he's less mobile.
It's not scary. I mean, I'm not worried at all. You know what's funny? I have a Deshaun Watson stat for you. Ready for this? So since Deshaun Watson's been traded to Cleveland Browns, he has played 10 games. He's 165 for 277 passes completed, which is under 60%, 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and 82 passer rating, and $230 million guaranteed. Just for reference here, Jacoby Brissett, who is a backup for them in 11 games he started with Watson being out, he was 236 for 368, so 64% completion, 2,600 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 88 passer rating.
It almost sounds to me like maybe the Browns browned it up.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
1,000%.
Maybe.
Just maybe.
They go and try and get a quarterback to sit behind Deshaun Watson until this cap disaster is over. Cut Deshaun Watson, start this new rookie, and do it right. And stop wasting these high draft picks on immediately starting a quarterback that doesn't pan out. That's a polarizing person or something like that. Let me
ask you this. Hold on, before you ask, let me ask you this. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson?
I was just about to say that. I really was about to.
Your minds.
I would go Baker.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
You'd pay him less.
Yeah, a lot less.
To do the same thing. or no, you're paying him less to do more because he'd play.
Yeah, true.
I just don't. I don't get it. And you know what's crazy is that I was really on, like, I liked Deshaun Watson as a person before all this thing came out, because I knew he gave a lot of money to charity and whatnot. But then you kind of find out that, like, yeah, there's 26 cases against you. You probably did some things that weren't savory.
A little deep tissue massage never hurt nobody, I guess.
Look,
but it might hurt him.
I guess it didn't in the end, because he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yes, he is. $230 million guaranteed. He's laughing at everybody. He's laughing at Cleveland.
That check is cashed. Like,
that's so crazy.
That's bananas.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just why make all these moves and change things around? You pointed out the Jacoby Brissett statistics there. Baker hasn't looked bad at all, but I mean, Baker's offensive weapons are better than what I think
Yes,
Cleveland's are right now, I would
I
say.
agree.
I don't know. And they're in a tough division. I don't know.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson sucks.
he does suck. So if you have him, please cut him. I'm going to do another new segment here for us. It's called the Worry Meter. I have some players here, Ray. I'm going to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you? Starting with some running backs here. Josh Jacobs, on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you?
Just a 1.
Okay,
A 1.
just
He's
a 1.
so involved. So much volume. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Right. Next name, your boy, Aaron Jones. How worried are you with him?
Like 15. The meter could be at 5. You could be 1 through 5. I'm at 15.
Okay. Are you trying to trade him? Let me ask you that next.
No one's gonna take him.
Okay. All
like
right.
I look. Let me rant for just a second. We're pretty short here on the time. Let me rant for a second. I cannot figure out. I can't, for the life of me, understand how his hamstring could be that bad that on a drive that you needed to get into field goal range and you needed to be throwing the ball, you decided instead of putting out your best offensive weapon, the best person you have on the offensive side of the ball, the thing that makes you go, you put out AJ Dillon. And now the ball is getting thrown 35 yards down the field for an interception because there was nobody that created separation, or it was that Jordan Love didn't trust the person that got open at the very end of the game, which was AJ Dillon. But if it was Aaron Jones, I guarantee he throws that ball to him. I'm just sitting here thinking like, Matt LaFleur, what the hell are you doing? Stop putting AJ Dillon out there. Stop it. Put Aaron Jones out there because he's better. If he's not healthy, put him in IR. Be done with it. I don't understand.
Let me, like, a little side question here. I saw this on Twitter. Do you believe that Aaron Rodgers carried Matt LaFleur?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I do not. No. The last season of Aaron Rodgers showed me that wasn't the case.
Okay.
I think that there was times, and honestly, multiple times, that Aaron Rodgers put us in a detriment because of his unwillingness to throw less than desirable passes, I guess you could say. But like, I get where the sentiment is coming from. I understand it. You also have to get that, like, this is the youngest offense in the NFL by a large margin, and one of the youngest offensive rosters in NFL history.
Okay.
So I think that there was always going to be growing pains. This was not going to be a Packers season. Jordan Love has looked at times really bad, but he's also looked at times really good. And I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that the offensive line isn't cohesive. We're moving parts around. Rasheed Walker is still on the goddamn offensive line. I can't figure that part out at all. Why are we not putting Yosh Nijman at left tackle? But the other part is that Aaron Jones hasn't been healthy. And Christian Watson's in and out of the lineup. And Romeo Doubs is not being involved. And Jaden Reed is being used weirdly. And we keep running these stupid-ass screenplays and not trying to push the ball and attack the ball down the field. And maybe that's because Jordan Love's deep ball isn't that good, or maybe it's because we have receivers that don't fight back for the ball. It's too many questions to answer. Let's move on.
Yeah, that was brought to you by a Packers rant for a minute here. My next running back and our last one here on a worry scale, Dameon Pierce.
I'm getting pretty worried. This is like 7 out of 10. I'm getting pretty worried. If this is truly Devin Singletary splitting work, the only thing that made Dameon Pierce viable week in, week out was the fact that he was getting all that volume. You cut out half of Josh Jacobs' volume, I am extremely worried. Like 10, 11. Like, I'm really worried. Dameon Pierce in the same boat because that offense isn't very good on the ground. I don't think it's a Dameon Pierce problem, but like, they just can't run the ball. And they're going to cut out half of his work or a quarter of his work for something that sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm a little worried. I would try to trade him away. Let me ask you this: if someone came up to you with let's just say Kyren Williams, the running back for the Rams, is going to be out for more than 4 more weeks, would you trade away Dameon Pierce for Darrell Henderson right now?
That'd be close. Honest to God, I'd be. I'd.
I think
I would
take it.
see if I could sweeten the deal just a little bit. If I could maybe get a little bit more, I'd like that. But like, that's close.
Okay, fair enough. And then I have some wide receivers here that I think will interest you. So Devonta Smith on a scale of 1 to 10.
I have Devonta Smith in a league that has significance, I guess. You know, the one you're in that league too.
Oh, okay.
I'm not feeling great.
Okay.
Five right
Okay.
now.
Fair enough. Next name, your boy Devonte Adams. How worried are you with him? They said they're not going to trade him, by the way. So
sucks because you wish you would.
yeah.
Like go to Kansas City, please, for the love of God.
It's not gonna happen.
Please, please.
That involves too much cap movement.
Please.
And it's in Division 2 on top of all things.
Yeah, there's zero chance. But I bet they've called.
Yeah, I bet you.
I bet they've called. And cap
the Raiders hung up really quickly.
The cap doesn't exist for the Chiefs. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I don't know. I'd like a 3. Not even. Not even.
Would you trade him right now for Adam Thielen?
No.
No, you still keep him over Adam Thielen. All right.
Yes.
Just checking. All right, just checking to see where you're at with him. My next name is Christian Watson.
Shit. In a redraft?
Yes.
Man, he's almost droppable.
Okay.
He's almost at that point. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
The offense, while he is what looks like the only piece that's going downfield to catch a ball, it's not great passes right now. It's not great pass protection. The schemes are not desirable for Christian Watson. Maybe a 9.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I think Romeo Dobbs is the guy to own for you guys, honestly.
I don't think anybody
that
wears Jaden Reed. He's the guy.
All right. Fair enough. My next name, Amari Cooper.
Nah, it's just one game. No.
Just one game? Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about it at all.
All right. And then Tyler Lockett, my last guy. Wide receiver 44 in the year right now.
Yeah, it's not looking great. And I think that what you just saw was JSN kind of emerge a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And with DK coming back, most likely next week. I would imagine next week because he was close to going this week. Yeah, pretty worried. 7, 8, 7.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I think, let me ask you this too. It's the last question before we get off here. Do you think Geno Smith is a long-term answer? Like, do you think, so obviously they have him this year, next year, they can cut him next year. Do you think they'll cut him next year?
No.
You don't think so? You think he'll write out the 3 years of the contract they gave him?
Probably. Okay. I think that it was a gamble by the Seahawks to say, if Geno Smith can pan it out and make this work, and like we can surround him with a team and we can make a real deep playoff push, which I still think they could. I mean, yeah, they have a good team. Yeah, they have a good team. And Geno just hasn't got it done yet. And maybe that's because they're not running the ball enough. Who knows? But, if they took the gamble and Geno pans out and they get 3 years out of him, they can draft the quarterback and groom him. Cool. Then it all works out. If it doesn't work out and he sucked, this is like the best part of their deal. If he sucked, they can again take a high draft pick, draft a quarterback, put him behind Geno one more year. That guy gets to learn a little bit, and then here we go off to the races with a great offense with a lot of young pieces. I don't see any negative side to that contract they signed. So to answer your question, I don't think it was ever their intention for him to finish out right off into the sunset after 3 years, be a Seahawk. I don't think that it was going to go past that regardless.
Okay. Fair enough. That was my last question.
Well,
that's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, folks. Well, if you guys have stayed in and listened for this long, we appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, you can comment below. We will definitely answer right away. As always, like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow. Until then, next week, guys, we'll be doing a preview for our Week 8 game. So stay tuned.
See you guys next